Hi, I'm Ryan Harding, and I'm going to talk to you today about the cost of waiting. Okay, and what I mean by that is a common question I get, especially from first-time home buyers, is, "Hey, should I wait and save my money so that I have enough money for a down payment? Whether that's 5, 10, 20% down, or should I try to buy now?" Okay, and that's a valid question, right? There's a lot of different loan programs out there for first-time home buyers, ranging from zero down to really as much as you want to put down. And so obviously the more you put down, the better the terms, right? You get a better deal if you can put some money down. Okay, but however, there is a cost to waiting, and so this is something that you need to think about when determining whether or not you should buy now or wait. Okay, so have you look at this flyer here to help me teach this principle here. So we talk about the cost of waiting. Okay, so let's talk about a $350,000 loan. Okay, and let's say we want to wait 6 months, perhaps a year, 2 years, or even 3 years. Okay, so over that period of time, you are essentially trading the time of waiting to save that money for lost amortization, which is essentially the principal part of your payment. Okay, so if you're making $1,000 payment, a portion of that is going towards principal, and after 6 months you would have lost essentially that opportunity of paying down $2,800 in principal. Based on current appreciation rates, okay, and this is in the COVID world and stuff like that now too, just so you know, I'm recording this now. You would have lost out potentially, and again, this is hypothetical. We don't know exactly the numbers for appreciation. It is a hypothetical, but it's a pretty educated guess. You would have lost out on around $9,000, okay, in lost appreciation. Okay, now after a year, you potentially could have lost out on $18,000 or and $5,000 in amortization, or a total of $24,000. Obviously, after 2 years, after 3 years, you can see that cost only continues to rise. Okay, and so that's a valid question you need to ask yourself: is, hey, if I take a year to save up that $15,000 or $10,000 or whatever I need for a down payment, just so you know, you potentially lost out on around $24,000 in lost equity, through paying it down and appreciation. Okay, something to consider. Again, there's no crystal ball here. We don't know exactly what the future is, but based on current stuff, this could be accurate. Okay, and it's certainly something you want to think about. Okay, this is another thing here. It's talking about additional cash required. So obviously, if you wait a year, 2 years, you're going to have a little bit more down than you would have a year or two ago, because obviously that home prices have gone up. And so, if you're doing 5% down or 10 or 20% down, that's 20% of a higher loan amount now. And so obviously you're putting a little bit more down. Okay, this is just talking about forecasted appreciation, so you can see kind of where home prices are potentially going, over the next 7 years here. Again, it's a forecast. It's not. We don't know the future. Okay, and then also obviously on what you're losing out, monthly on, potentially that higher payment would be obviously because you're buying a more expensive home. Okay, so these are all things to consider when you're talking about whether you should buy now, whether you should wait and save for a down payment. Typically I always say, if you have money to put down, it's always better if you can do that, right? Because having a small 3 to 5, 10% down payment is going to be better than zero down. However, if you don't have money to put down and you need to save for that down payment, maybe it's worth looking at buying now, because, hey, you don't want to lose out on that lost appreciation and stuff like that. And so maybe it makes sense. Okay, maybe it doesn't. And obviously, talk to me. That's what I'm here for, is to talk about your current situation. Maybe you also have to repair credit and stuff like that. So maybe it is actually worth waiting, right? You're saving for a down payment. Maybe you have to because you can't afford, the loan that we're looking at doing and stuff like that at zero down. Or maybe you want to qualify for more of a house. And so it makes sense to put a down payment down because you can qualify for more of a house. So that's the other side of things. Maybe, sure, you may be losing out on some lost appreciation, but at the same time, you're getting into a home that you want more. Okay, so there's two sides of that coin, and that's why I say, hey, talk to me. Let's talk about your current situation. Let's figure out what makes the most sense for you, And is it worth it to wait? Is it not worth it? And that's a question we can try to answer together. Okay, so reach out to me today. I would love to help you, figure out that answer to that question. Thanks.